Well, updates from Sydney now, which hosts India versus Australia, the second semi-final of the 2015 World Cup. The Aussies are simulating real match situation during practice. Each player is working on his individual strengths and weaknesses. Skipper Michael Clarke had extended practice sessions against bouncers to work his problem against the short pitch delivery. Shane Watson, on the other hand, wanted to work on throwdowns emulating Indian off-spinner Ashwin style, while Steve Smith tackled deliveries bowled by left-arm spinner in Jadeja style. Meanwhile, Australian pacer James Faulkner, in a pre-match conference before the semi-final clash, said that the Indian side in the World Cup was different from the one they had played in the last 6 months. He also felt that the Indian crowd filling up the stadia, in fact, Australia feel like the away team in a situation like this. Faulkner also expects the semi-final to be loaded with runs. Meanwhile, the pitch at the Sydney continues to be in the eye of the storm. Australian skipper Michael Clarke, SCG curator Tom Parker and ICC in charge of pitches Tom Atkins could be seen having intense discussions at the Sydney cricket ground earlier today. The entire controversy started when Parker in fact said that they want a green pitch that will help them rather than a dry surface.
Three days before the all-important semi-final here at the Sydney cricket ground, all talk is about the pitch. From the morning, there was a lot of activity about that track and on that track. Ron Atkinson, the ICC pitch consultant, was here speaking to Tom Parker, the curator. Cricket Australia officials were seen going up to the two people, talking to them about that track. Later on in the day, when the Australians practiced, the Australian captain Michael Clarke walked up to Ron Atkinson and had a word with him about that track. From the Indian standpoint, Duncan Fletcher also went up to Ron Atkinson and spoke to him about that wicket. James Faulkner spoke about it, saying he expects a good batting deck. The fact of the matter is, if it's a track that helps spinners, India will have an immense advantage. But if the track has pace and bounce, as the Australians expect and want, it will certainly favour Australia. So over the next 48 hours, a lot of activity will be seen on that Sydney wicket. With the countdown having started, it was interesting to see the intensity in the Indian practice. Three things were noticeable. The top three batsmen, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan, spent a lot of time in the nets, batting against the short ball. Now that tells you something very important. The Indians are not expecting a dust bowl here in Sydney. There will be bounce, there will be pace, and they will have to negotiate Mitchell Johnson and Mitchell Starc. Point number two, Ravi Shastri monitored the bowling of the Indian fast bowlers, Umesh Yadav, Bhuvi, Shami and Mohit Sharma. And point number three, very, very interestingly, Mahendra Singh Dhoni got Suresh Raina to practice with the tennis ball for close to half an hour. The captain was giving Raina the throwdowns, clearly getting him trained for the short ball. All in all, Team India gradually getting ready for that big semi-final come Thursday. With camera person Manish Mathur at the Sydney cricket ground, Boria Majumdar for Headlines Today.